you be there. Okay, so let me start today's class. So till now, we have finished 3 modules in signals and systems. And you must be wondering what we have learned in signals and system. So if you go to module 1, so there I have started with definition of signals and system. What is a signal? What is a system? Then different classification of signal: odd, even, discrete, continuous, and so on, power, energy, etc. Then we did some basic operations on signals like scaling, time shifting, multiplication, folding. Then we worked on some elementary signals like unit step, ramp, impulse. Then we saw the properties of systems like stability, causality, etc. So the first module, we dealt with that because we wanted to know the basics of signals, like how can we represent it mathematically, how can we do some basic operation, how can we draw the signals, and so on. Okay, so that was a major motive in signals and system module number 1. In module number 2, we studied about a separate operation called convolution. So if you go back to convolution, we have dealt with discrete time convolution, continuous time convolution, then impulse response representation, properties of IIR, then differential and difference equation. So as an application point of view, convolution is used as a filter, and there we have done specifically, we have studied on this convolution operation, because convolution in time domain is multiplication in frequency domain. So it is used as a filter mainly in signal processing, image processing, and so on. Okay, so we have studied that in module number 3. So these two, module 1 and module 2, we were studying only about time domain signal. So we wanted to shift to another domain. So what was that another domain? The another domain was frequency domain. So frequency domain representation is nothing but your Fourier series or Fourier transform representation. So in module number 3, we studied particularly on discrete time Fourier series and continuous time Fourier series. So if you apply the Fourier series, it is applied only for periodic signal. So if it is applied to continuous time signal, it is known as continuous time Fourier series. If it is applied to discrete time, it is known as discrete time Fourier series, CTFS and DTFS. So now we will study in module 4 same thing. There in module 3 it was Fourier series. Here it is Fourier transform. Why it is called Fourier transform? Because it is applied to non-periodic signal. So here we apply for non-periodic, so which does not repeat with respect to time, but Fourier series for periodic signal which repeats with respect to time. So in this module 4, what and all things will be you will be studying. The first one will be the Fourier representation of signals. Then on that you will be studying the first thing, the discrete time Fourier representation, then continuous time Fourier time representation, then about the properties. And particularly in this module 4, the derivations for these properties of Fourier transform is important. I did not stretch that for Fourier series, but for Fourier transform, the derivation for properties is very much important. So again, I am stressing, make sure you study this derivations well here. Okay, then there will be problems on discrete time Fourier representation and continuous time Fourier representation. So in the textbook they will go for first with discrete time and then with continuous time, but I will start with first always continuous time and then with discrete time. What is the difference? Continuous means it is continuous, discrete means it will be discrete in nature. That's it. There is no difference, much of a difference here. And then here we apply this Fourier transform only for non-periodic signal which doesn't repeat with respect to time. Make sure you remember also that. Okay. So now having that, let us have the basic block diagram. So there is Fourier representation. So you have periodic signal, you have aperiodic signal. So in periodic signal, if it is continuous time, then you apply Fourier series. If it is discrete time, you apply discrete time Fourier series. If it is aperiodic signal, then continuous time Fourier transform. Then it is discrete time, it is known as discrete time Fourier transform. So this diagram will give you a perfect explanation when you have to apply this Fourier series or Fourier transform. Okay. Okay. This is simple. So now let us, come to today's topic. So today's topic is particularly on continuous time Fourier transform. So we apply Fourier transform for aperiodic signal. So if x of t, so you have a signal x of t. So this signal x of t is continuous and it is non-periodic, which does not repeat with respect to time. Then the Fourier transform of this signal, so there is a signal here, it is continuous because it's not discrete here, because you can see continuous with respect to t time, and it is not periodic in nature. Then you can apply this Fourier transform to this signal. So what is the Fourier transform of the signal? Fourier transform of the signal x of t is equal to x of j omega, which is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. So this is your Fourier transform equation. So given a signal x of t in time domain, if you want to convert into the frequency domain, what's the formula? Integral of minus infinity to infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. Derivation is not there. Don't worry about that. But this is the formula which you have to remember for converting the time domain into frequency domain. So this is also called as analysis equation. So now we have got the Fourier transform from time domain to frequency domain. So now what we want ulta. If they given in frequency domain, how do you convert back to time domain? So that is nothing but your inverse Fourier transform. So inverse Fourier transform, it is nothing but the reverse of the Fourier transform. So what is the formula? Inverse Fourier transform x of t is equal to 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity x of j omega e power plus j omega t d omega. So this is nothing but your synthesis equation. So for today's module, I will be using these two formulas. Okay. So please remember or write this formula so that two times, so that you can apply those things in the problems. So first one, what is the Fourier transform of x of t? Fourier transform of x of t is equal to x of j omega, which is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. So this is your analysis equation. If you want ulta to convert from frequency domain to time domain, we use inverse Fourier transform, which is equal to 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity x of j omega e power plus j omega t d omega. So these two equations, you have to keep it in mind while solving the problems. Okay. So now for derivation of this Fourier transform, so there are like around 8 to 9 derivations, which is very important. So I'll upload it, those derivations, so that you can grasp it very easily. But we will have a look at it so that we can apply it to the problems. Okay. So it's very easy, those derivations. Don't worry about that. So let us go one by one and see what are the things, what are the properties in this Fourier series. Okay. So sorry, Fourier transform. So if given x of t, Then Fourier transform is x of j omega. Then y of t, Fourier transform is y of j omega. Okay. So with respect to this, first one, linearity. What does linearity property says? A into x of t plus b into y of t. If you take them Fourier transform, you will get a into x of j omega plus b into y of j omega. Nothing. So a will be there. Here also, right side a will be there. You are taking the transform of x of t, which is x of j omega. B will be on the left hand side. Same thing will be on the right hand side. You are taking the transform of y of t, which is y of j omega. So this we have seen in Fourier series also. The same thing, a into x of t plus b into y of t is equal to a into x of j omega plus by of j omega. Derivation is very important, which I will be uploading. Second one, time shifting. So you are shifting with respect to time. So how do you need to, you have to imagine things, okay, some of the time. So here it is given as x of t minus t naught. So how do you want, you have to imagine there is a signal x of t, then you are shifting with respect to t naught. So it was at t here and it is shifted to t naught. Then what happens correspondingly in your frequency domain? So that is what the logic here is. Okay. So if you shift your signal in time domain with the amount of t naught, then you have to take the Fourier transform of the signal x of t, which is x of j omega, and also make sure that you have to multiply it with the exponential, which is equal to e power minus j omega t naught. So how much ever you shifted here, that much you have to multiply in the exponential. So that is how you have to understand the things here. Okay. So if there is a shift in time domain, you have to take the Fourier transform of the particular signal and multiply it with the exponential, how much it shift. Okay. So that is how you have to understand things here. Then time reversal. So time reversal is nothing but the folding. So if you do x of minus t in time domain, then it is same thing in Fourier domain also. It is nothing but x of j omega. Then complex conjugation. So if you take the complex conjugate in time domain, then in Fourier domain it is x conjugate of minus j omega. So these properties, if you remember, it will be, you can instead of taking long method, you can finish off the problem using these properties which you will be observing. Okay. So first we will solve some problems on Fourier transform and IFFT. Then we will go with the properties of this one. So in order to solve the problems, I'm giving you a brief idea. So what are the different properties of the Fourier transform? So what we have learned here: linearity, time shifting, time reversal, complex conjugation. So let us go further now. Again, here also, so if you observe Fourier series, there also the Parseval's came. So here also there is Parseval's. So what does this Parseval's theorem says? What it actually says? So the left side, whatever is there, integral of x of t the whole square dt. So this is nothing but your energy of the signal in time domain. So if the energy of the signal in time domain is equal to, in frequency domain, you have to multiply by 1 by 2 pi, then take the integral of x of j omega the whole square. So the right hand side is known as energy density spectrum. So right hand side is known as energy density spectrum. So the left hand side is the energy of the signal in time domain. The right hand side in the frequency domain, it is known as energy density. Okay. Just, both are energy only. The name is different. Here you take modulus of x of t the whole square. Here you 1 by 2 pi integral over x of j omega the whole square. So that is the difference. Okay. Then if you do a differentiation in time domain, then correspondingly what will happen in frequency domain? You have to multiply by j omega into x of j omega. You take the Fourier transform of x of t. But if you take the differentiation, what you have to do? This extra term j omega, you have to multiply. So that is, how you have to understand things here. Then integration. Then there is time and frequency scaling. So if you scale x of at, then correspondingly in the frequency domain, what will happen? It is 1 by a into x of j omega by a. So these things I will while deriving the properties, I will explain you what is that exactly. So while doing the derivation, these things you will understand. Okay, then what I have to for today, yeah, convolution. So this is common thing, convolution and Parseval's theorem. So convolution in time domain is nothing but multiplication in your frequency domain. See, convolution in test 1 you have solved. Okay, so see how many steps it will take, but it is nothing but if you convert to your Fourier transform, you can just multiply those two signals. So this is easy, right? Like converting into frequency domain, you have to just multiply the signal. See what advantage it offers for you. So filtering usually is done in frequency domain, so you just multiply it there. Okay, the Fourier coefficients. So these things you will learn in DSP in further classes, but this is what you have to get the intuition from here. Okay, multiplication in convolution in time domain is nothing but multiplication in your frequency domain. So these are the things you have to remember in your throughout the life. If you're an electrical engineer or you apply for some DSP jobs or signal processing jobs, so these things are very important. Okay, so Parseval theorems I already discussed is the same thing. Okay, so having said that, so we will start with today's problem. Okay, so our Harikathe Purana and all, it's over. So using that, 5-10 minutes I always stress on theory, then only I will shift to problems, so that it will be useful for you to solve the problems. Okay, so first thing, I'll give you the idea, then using that idea we are going to solve the problems here. Okay, so first thing what we have to do, we have to read the question, understand the question, and ask ourselves what is there in the question, and try to get the information from the question itself. Okay, so let us go to our first question today. So what is the first question? Obtain the Fourier transform of the following signal. So you have to obtain the Fourier transform. So how do you get the Fourier transform? You have to use the Fourier transform equation. Fourier transform of x of t is equal to x of j omega, which is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. So using that equation, we'll get directly our Fourier transform. Easy if you solve this step by step. This is because you have solved in mathematics also, this is easy to score. Okay, so don't miss this module 3 and module 4, okay, while studying. Then what you have to get? Draw them magnitude spectra and phase spectra. So express in a plus jb form and get the magnitude spectra root of a squared plus b squared. Then phase spectra is tan inverse of b by a. Same thing, whatever we have done in Fourier series, we are doing that in Fourier transform. There it is periodic signal, here it is aperiodic signal. So that is only the difference. Okay, formula, there is slight difference you have to see, you have to write it and you have to solve it. That's it. So let us see what is our problem here. So x of t is equal to del of t. So let us solve this problem step by step. So what I told you, Fourier transform of x of t is equal to x of j omega, which is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. So this is our Fourier equation. So now what is given in the question? To find the Fourier transform. So this x of t they have given as del of t. Just substitute in this and we will solve. So integral minus infinity to infinity x of t is nothing but your del of t e power minus j omega t dt. So this is your Fourier transform equation. So whenever this comes, I have stressed in the first module. So what is the value of this? This is equal to e power minus j omega t at t is equal to 0. So this will be equal to e power 0, which is equal to 1. So what is the Fourier transform of delta function? It is nothing but 1. So this thing you have to remember. Okay. So this is not a derivation, this is sum. So sum is also important, and remembering the things also is important, because in control system and all, you have to directly you will have subjects like control system and all, there you have to directly apply. So keep this in mind. Fourier transform of delta function is 1. So now we have to get the magnitude spectra and phase spectra. So what is the magnitude spectra? So let me write it here. So magnitude spectra. So magnitude spectra will get, so since it is given 1, what is the magnitude of 1? It is obviously 1 root of a squared plus b squared. No need to do at all, because there is no j omega term. So directly your magnitude will be equal to 1. So what is the phase? Phase is 0 because j term is not there, right? So only 1 they have given. So phase spectrum angle of x of j omega, which is equal to 0. So now what we have to do, since angle is 0, no need to plot the phase spectrum, we should plot the magnitude spectrum. So what is your magnitude spectrum? Magnitude spectrum is for different values of omega. What is the value of x of j omega? So your y axis will be x of j omega, your x axis will be omega 0 for different values of omega. So what do you get as 1? So it will be 1. So this is how you solve this one. So let us see once again. So what is the question here? X of t is equal to del of t. Then what I have done, I have take the Fourier transform of x of t, which is equal to x of j omega, which is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. So what is our x of t? Del of t. Substitute. Then what is this equation equal to? E power minus j omega t at t is equal to 0. So which is equal to e power 0, which is equal to 1. Then what we got? We got the magnitude spectra from this, which is equal to 1. Then we got the phase spectra, which is equal to 0. Then we have plotted the magnitude spectra. So now you have got this idea. So we'll, on the same basis, we'll solve other problems. Okay. So let us go to our second problem for today. So x of t is equal to del of t minus k. So the first thing what you have to do, we have to write the formula. So what is the formula? Fourier transform of x of t is equal to x of j omega, which is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. So now what is x of t? X of t is nothing but del of t minus k. So we'll substitute integral minus infinity to infinity del of t minus k e power minus j omega t dt. So this is equal to e power minus j omega t at t is equal to plus k. So this is equal to e power minus j omega k. So this r e power j theta, you remember. So e power j into minus omega k, I can say this one. So your magnitude you get directly, so which is equal to 1, and phase you can get directly, which is equal to minus omega into k. So let us get the magnitude and phase spectrum. So the first one we'll get magnitude. So what is the magnitude here? Magnitude here is 1. So magnitude of x of j omega, which is equal to 1. So what is the phase? R e power j theta. theta is equal to minus omega into k. So your phase here is equal to phase of x of j omega is equal to minus omega into k. Okay. So now we have to plot both your magnitude spectra as well as phase spectra. So let me draw the magnitude spectra also. Let me draw the phase spectra also. Okay. Give me 1 minute. So yeah. Okay. So let me draw the magnitude spectra for you first. So what is your x-axis? X-axis is omega. What's your y-axis? X of j omega. So your y-axis is x of j omega and your x-axis is omega 0 and minus omega. So what's your magnitude for different values of omega? It is 1. So we will plot this one here. Okay. So this is your magnitude spectra. Then what we want? We want our phase spectra. So phase spectra is equal to minus omega k. So what does that mean? For different values of omega, the slope is minus k. So how do you plot the phase spectra? So you have this omega and it is minus k. So yeah. So this is omega, this is 0, this is minus omega, this is minus k. So this is your phase spectra. So what have we done? First, we'll write the formula, substitute for x of t, get our Fourier transform first. Then with respect to that, we'll get our magnitude spectra, phase spectra and plot it. So I've done for x of t is equal to del of t minus k. Similarly, you can do for x of t is equal to del of t plus k. So this is homework for you. So if time permits, I will do this one. Otherwise, it's the same thing. Okay. So let me go to another problem here. So what's my main objective is to, to cover different kinds of problems so that, in the exam, if they ask, it will be helpful for you. Okay. So what's the question here? X of t is equal to e power minus at u of t when e is greater than 0. So the first thing what we have to do is we have to write the mathematical expression. So let me write the mathematical expression for you. So x of t is equal to e power minus at for t greater than 0. Otherwise it is 0 elsewhere. So this is the first thing you have to write. So that, when we substitute in integration, for example, Fourier transform of x of t is equal to x of j omega, from minus infinity to infinity, our integration limits from 0 to infinity because t is greater than 0, right? So x of t is defined from 0 to infinity only. So that is a major advantage of writing down the mathematical expression. Okay. So let us write step by step. So we have Fourier transform of x of t is equal to x of j omega, which is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. So this is our Fourier transform. So now we want Fourier transform of this. So our limit changes from minus infinity to infinity to 0 to infinity. Why? Because e power minus at for t greater than 0. So your x of t is defined for t greater than 0. So e power minus at e power minus j omega t dt. So how can we simplify this one? Integral 0 to infinity e power minus, I will take outside, a plus j omega into t dt. So what is the answer for this integration? E power minus a plus j omega into t divided by minus a plus j omega. What's the limit? From 0 to infinity. Okay. So now we are approaching towards the answer. Okay. Let me, use the other side of the board here. Okay. So we'll substitute here. So minus 1 by a plus j omega, I'll keep it outside. Then what we have, e power minus infinity minus e power 0. So this is nothing but is equal to minus 1 by a plus j omega, e power minus infinity is 0 minus 1, which is equal to 1 divided by a plus j omega. So this is your x of j omega. Okay, so this is your Fourier transform. So you have to remember these things whenever they ask Fourier transform of e power minus at u of t. In the exam, if they ask, you have to solve. But if you remember this one, f of e Fourier transform of e power minus at u of t is equal to 1 by a plus j omega. It simplifies most of the things, okay, that I will show you when you are taking inverse Fourier transform. So make sure you remember this formula. So whatever I am deriving, after derivation, right side you write it, what is the Fourier transform of that corresponding e power minus at of t, or del of t, or del of t minus k, del of t plus k, and t e power minus at. So these are the things you have to, you have to do it by yourself. And you have to remember, like, how do you remember the tables? You have to remember this formula of this Fourier transforms also, because you will be applying those things in control system, DSP and all. So there they will directly write, so Fourier transform of e power minus at u of t is equal to 1 by a plus j omega. So that time you should not say that I did not memorize that. So make sure you write it once. Okay, so now let us get the magnitude spectra and phase spectra. So in the textbook they'll write directly the magnitude of this one as 1 by root of a squared plus omega squared. So what I suggest you write, to understand things in exam you can write, or test you can write directly, but what you have to do is, see, you have to express in terms of a plus jb form. So what we have to do, multiply by a minus j omega and divide by a minus j omega. So if you do this, you will end up as a minus j omega in the numerator. Denominator it will be a plus b into a minus b. A squared minus b squared will be plus omega squared, because j squared is equal to minus 1, minus into minus it will be plus. So now we have got in the form of a plus jb. So a divided by a squared plus w squared minus j into w divided by a squared plus w squared. So let this be here. Okay, so now it is in the form of a plus jb. So now you can get directly the magnitude spectra and phase spectra. So let me take this equation to the next sheet so that I can solve there. Add a new page. Okay, so now what we want, magnitude spectra and phase spectra. First one, magnitude spectra. So what is the formula? Root of a squared plus b squared. So your a is a divided by a squared plus omega squared. So a divided by a squared plus omega square the whole square, plus b is minus omega divided by a squared plus omega squared the whole square. So if you simplify this one, we will get as root of 1 by a squared plus omega squared, which is nothing but 1 by root of a squared plus omega squared. So in your textbook they'll give directly the magnitude as 1 by root of a squared plus omega squared. So don't wonder from where did it come and all. Okay, so first you have to express in terms of a plus jb and get that. So now we have got our magnitude spectrum. Now what is the second thing we have to find? Phase spectrum. So what is the formula for phase spectrum? Phase spectrum, phi of x of j omega is equal to tan inverse of b by a. So what is your b? What is your a? B we know, a also we know. So your b is minus w divided by a squared plus omega squared divided by a divided by a squared plus omega squared. So these two can cancels, which is equal to minus tan inverse of W by A. So this is your angle x of j omega. So this is your magnitude. So now we have to plot those things. Okay. So first we'll plot the magnitude spectra. So what is your magnitude spectrum? 1 by root of a squared plus omega square. So this magnitude spectra, you're plotting for different values of W, and that will be your x-axis. So this is your different values of W, and your y is magnitude of x of j omega. So at W equal to 0, you substitute in this equation 1 by root of a squared plus 0, which is equal to 1 by a. So at this point, the value is 1 by a. Then we want at a and minus a. At a and minus a. Substitute 1 by root of a squared plus at W equal to a squared, which is equal to 1 by 2 root a. So at this point, the value will be 1 by 2 root a. At minus a also it will be minus a squared, right? So it will be minus 1 by, so it will be 1 by 2 root a. So the same value will get. Then if you plot this one, it will take this bell-like structure. Okay. So in your textbook, they will give this directly. So how do you get this? You'll get by substituting in this equation at W equal to 0 and W equal to A. So this is your magnitude spectra. Then what we want? We want phase spectra. So let me take another page for that. So we have phase of x of j omega. How much we got? Minus tan inverse of omega by A. So what is your phase spectra? 1 minute. So for different values of omega, what is the angle? So angle in your y-axis. So angle of x of j omega and omega in your x-axis. So now the maximum value, it can go up till plus pi by 2 and minus pi by 2. And let's substitute at omega is equal to 0, minus tan inverse of 0 is 0 only. So we have got our first point here. Okay. So that is 0 at omega is equal to 0. Then what we have to get? At omega is equal to plus a and omega is equal to minus a. At plus a minus tan inverse of a by a, which is equal to minus tan inverse of 1, which is equal to minus pi by 4. So here it is pi by 2 means around here you will get as minus pi by 4. So at a your value is minus pi by 4. So your point lies somewhere here. Similarly for minus a it will be plus pi by 4. Okay. So your another point lies here. So how does the curve vary? So the curve varies like somewhat like this. Okay. Okay, somewhat like this it varies. Okay. So you have to remember these things and you have to write these things, in order to get these things correctly. So write these things, you'll get, okay, same procedure is the same. You have to get the Fourier transform, you have to get the magnitude spectra, phase spectra. Same thing we are doing from Fourier series. Okay. I hope you are not getting bored also. Okay. So now let me go to the last problem for today and then we'll wind up for today's class. So I'll give you the basic intuition. So actually this should be the homework problem and then you can solve this one. So what it is given, x of t is equal to minus a modulo of t for a greater than 0. So how can we write the mathematical expression for this one? X of t is equal to e power minus at for t greater than 0 because t will be positive, and e power plus at for t is less than 0. Okay. Then what you have to write? You have to write your Fourier transform equation. Fourier transform of x of t is equal to x of j omega which is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. Now what we have to do, since it is defined like minus infinity to 0 and from 0 to infinity, so we, because it is defined for two, t greater than 0 and t less than 0. Okay, when t is greater than 0 it is e power minus at, and t is less than 0 it is e power plus at. So how can we split this one? See, minus infinity to 0 e power plus at, because for t less than 0 e power minus j omega t dt plus integral from 0 to infinity e power minus at e power minus j omega t dt. So now how can we solve this further? Again the same procedure. So these things you can do, you simplify this and you have to arrive in the answer as 2a divided by a squared plus omega squared. So this answer you have to arrive, you have to do this by yourself, do it. Okay, so this will be your answer. So what will be your magnitude? You have to check. What will be your phase? You have to check. Phase is 0 because j term is not there, so directly I can say here the phase term is 0. Magnitude you have to get from this one. So your magnitude spectra will be same as the previous one, so it's almost same like previous one when our e power term comes. Okay, so make sure you plot the magnitude spectra and phase spectra for this one. Okay, so yes, yeah, for today we have solved some problems. We got some idea regarding this Fourier transform. In the next class we will see some more problems regarding to this Fourier transform, and then we will solve some problems with respect to IFFT and some problems with respect to that, and with respect to some partial fraction and with using properties. And then same thing will be applied to discrete. Instead of t it will be n. Okay, so this thing, this module is like